And today's top trender, Barracuda's back.
Iowa, you are good people.
Fried butter on the stick, fried cheesecake on the stick. Heck yeah.
Sarah Palin sets her sights on the Hawkeye state.
She wants to get involved once again in these midterm races.
Well, Ted Cruz and more of those good guys need some reinforcements in these midterm elections.
Mike Lee, I am your father.
And potentially some of these big Senate campaigns that we're seeing.
Someday, I'm actually going to tell America what I really think.
Ooh, Barracuda.
I'm joined now by liberal commentator and comedian John Fugelsang. Brother Fugelsang, how you doing there, my man?
Always a pleasure.
So, Sarah Palin, it's always great to have you. Sarah Palin is speaking at the Iowa Faith and Freedom Conference this weekend in Des Moines. What's she hoping to accomplish there? Is this a warm-up, so to speak, for what's coming next for her?
Well, there will be cameras there, Doctor, so I think you're right about that. She's also flogging a new book. She's getting in on the War on Christmas bandwagon about 5 years after Bill O'Reilly made it trendy. And it's going to work. I mean, Sarah Palin's job right now is to keep folks like you and me talking about Sarah Palin. It's easy to scoff at her and say, oh, she's irrelevant, she can see oblivion from her house. And I get those arguments. I think Sarah Palin's sort of like, she does for the GOP what Jar Jar Binks did for Star Wars Episode 1. She distracts the easily amused from a total lack of narrative. But in this case, it's more about her just keeping herself in the spotlight. And the fact is, and you know this, Doctor, no major candidate will ever criticize her on the GOP side. No politician outside of Dick Cheney has ever criticized her once, because for all the laughable aspects of her, she's still a kingmaker, and everybody wants her endorsement.
Well, it seems after Ronald Reagan, she is the most Teflon-like Republican in a long while. But in the band of Republican ideology, she's playing second fiddle to Utah Senator Mike Lee at the conference this year. Do you think she still has the juice? Does she have the same influence in the GOP that she had even a couple of years ago?
Oh, good Lord, no. I do think she'll be the first ever major party ticket candidate to one day host a cosmetics infomercial. You know it's going to happen in the next 10 years. She'll be marveling over this lip liner, ladies. But in the meantime, her job is to keep herself in the media eye. She's very good at doing that, and she's now going to go out and talk about the war on Christmas and make that her new pet issue with the new book that somebody else wrote, and that should be pretty effective. Telling people who are the religious majority that they're an abused minority will never make you go broke.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Well, but she's been sidestepping questions about another run for office. Do you think she's testing the waters in Iowa right now, kind of dipping her toe in, figuring out if it's going to work, if it's going to be successful or not?
Absolutely, and she should have done it last year. She wouldn't have won, but she would have, hit the snooze alarm on her career and kept it going a bit more. As it is now, she's a hero to gullible conservatives, smart liberals, and all comedians. So I hope she runs. I think we're finally ready for a second president who thinks Rwanda was JJ's sister on Good Times. That's a good thing, Doctor.
No doubt that. Apologies to Thelma. Look, Palin's not the only Republican that's passed through Iowa lately. Rick Perry's there. Ted Cruz stopped by to hunt pheasant with Congressman Steve King last month. No, are Republicans really already jockeying for position in 2016?
Well, absolutely. This is Tea Party idol, and you're going to Iowa, dog. You're going to see more and more of this. These guys have to start fundraising early. You know the obscene amounts of money these men and women will have to raise to run for office. So we're going to be seeing a lot of it. And keep in mind, it's going to be a very entertaining 2016 field. It's not going to be like the clown car 2012 was for the GOP. You'll see what passes for heavy intellectual hitters in that campaign. Mike Lee, you'll see Ted Cruz, Marco Rubio, Jeb Bush, Chris Christie, Rand Paul. It's going to be like the anti-Avengers in a bizarro universe. Everyone evil fighting each other. So I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. It'll be manna for comics, and I would love to see Sarah Palin use that primary process as an excuse to keep her career going a little while longer.